This area of the dungeon with the marking letter of C is the Wall of Flame. It starts out as a stairwell up to a raised platform above the rest of the dungeon. Along the wall on this platform are spurts of flame that shoot out. Here's basically the way this works. Your figure will use one action to enter the stairwell, and he'll go ahead and move to the top of the stairwell. Then he will spend one action to do the whole series of jumps, collect the gold, and land on this platform here. So it only takes one action to do the whole series of jumps, collect the gold, and land here. This area is one possible exit to the dungeon. If you successfully complete this and land on the platform, you'll use one action to either jump down into the dungeon and continue, or jump down behind the guard and safely exit the dungeon. Of course, you may also just go back into the dungeon if you happen to want to go another direction. Now, along this wall, if you happen to land in flame, it will cost you a piece of armor if you want to continue to jump across the flames. If you run out of armor, or if you choose not to use your armor, you will immediately be forced down into the dungeon below, where you can continue your turn as normal. Now, let's see how the blue player does on this circumstance. He's going to use an action chip to move into the stairwell. He'll move to the top of the stairs, and he's going to place one action chip. He will roll one die and see where he lands. He's going to roll 6. So he went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He landed in flame. So he's going to sacrifice one piece of armor so he can keep going. At this point, he's going to roll the die again. No additional action chip is needed to continue jumping. He's going to roll. He rolls a 3. 1, 2, 3. He landed in a safe area. That worked out. It didn't cost him a piece of armor. He's going to continue and roll again. He rolled a 1. Okay, he landed there. That costs him a piece of armor. So he's going to sacrifice his second piece of armor to keep going. He's going to roll the die again. He rolled a 6. So he completed it all the way. He will immediately move his counter up 10 gold on the gold track and fall down below here. Now, it may be difficult to see, but this gold is up in the water here, and once you collect it, the water washes you down onto the grate below. You cannot reach this gold again once you fall down to this platform. So if he ends his turn here, he is not able to collect the 10 gold again at the beginning of his next turn because he's washed down to a platform below. So during his next turn, if he wants that 10 gold again, he'll have to go back into the dungeon and ride the whole thing again. At this point, the blue player will need to use an action chip to either jump down into the dungeon or jump down behind the guard. The reason he has to use one is because he is voluntarily moving one direction or the other. He is not forced down. And he can end his turn on the platform if he wants to. He won't be able to collect the gold, but he can just sit there until everybody else takes their turn if he doesn't have enough action chips to continue his turn. If another player happens to be in the stairwell, he will duel them before moving up and attempting the jump. If another player is standing on the platform, this player will go ahead, take his series of jumps, and after he collects his gold and slides down, he will then duel that player and then choose to either jump down into the dungeon or into there, or he can simply both end their turn there if need be. Now, it's possible to do this jump more than once per turn, but if you do it again, you won't be able to collect the gold the second time around. The flames will still be there, you can still attempt the jump, but you won't have 10 gold the second time around during the same turn. Now you might ask, well, why would he do this twice if there's no 10 gold at the end? This is one possible escape to the dungeon. So let's say this player has a lot of actions, but he only has 2 armor to go through. So what he can do is put an action chip and roll a die, and let's say his first die roll is a 1, which puts him here, which he'd have to sacrifice armor. What he may do at this point is simply say, you know, I'm not going to waste armor, because I'm probably not going to make it. But that bad die roll, maybe he doesn't have a reroll at this point. So what this player is going to choose to do, rather than getting the 10 gold, he is just going to let the flames burn him and push him down into here. What he'll do is he'll put an action chip, move back up into the room, use an action chip, and he's going to try it again. So he's going to roll. Maybe he'll roll better. He rolled a 5 this time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He moves here. Now he feels it's worthwhile to sacrifice a piece of armor because he actually has a shot with 2 more die rolls to get into the end. So he's going to go ahead and roll the die again. 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So he sacrifices his last and second piece of armor. And now he knows with any die roll he's going to bank it for 1. So he goes ahead and rolls the die again, moves over here. He does not get to collect the 10 gold because he's already tried this once. But at least he's now able to exit the dungeon and have some placement at the end of the game.